What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Spandau Ballet from their 1989 album Heart Like a Sky. Thank you again to Phil for providing the later catalog, as well as to Han Solo for providing the earlier material. And the next tune on the record is Empty Spaces. I like the phrase, of course, we're speaking to the absence of anything rather than substance per se. And in that regard, empty spaces, number one, they can speak to an emptiness inside but sort of externalized. They can relate to potential but not the actual. Of course, they also may speak to the echoes of things which were once there. If you live with someone and then that comes to an end and the other person goes away and they take their things and things come down from the wall, it's like there is a residual memory of the experiences and the moments that took place within those walls. So yes, empty spaces of course may not be within a building. It can be an empty space outdoors. But yes, it makes me think that we're probably in the realm of human affairs, and in that regard, empty spaces are perhaps where things used to be. Now of course it can be something new, and thus it's a new empty space, and that would speak more to possibility or what may be built. But yes, when I looked at the title, I thought of a house which used to be full and is now empty, and thus there is an absence of the existence, the memories which once were. So let's see what it is in practice and how wrong I am about these thoughts. This is Spandau Ballet, the tune is Empty Spaces, and it's from Heart Like a Sky, 1989.
Once there were times, love, when we could touch the air between. And out across this room, we'd fill the space with all our schemes. And if we just touched hands, light would shine with electric dreams. No matter how many miles, nothing hurt long-distance hearts. Oh, there was always something there that space could never keep apart. Now I know inside that something's died when we're apart. All we have are empty spaces. Not like we're building walls too hard to climb to make us blind. It's just so much numbing space to hollow out the heart of mine. And I can hear echoes of ghosts of love we left behind. I'll always love April. We fell in love and we planted seeds. And now we walk through fallen trees and leaves that crush beneath. And I will always live in autumn. Now we've agreed. All we have are empty spaces. I thought this was meant to be. Our love had an energy, but only as time evolved, and all of our strength dissolved, and we'll never feel the flame that burns so naked again. I walked through Kansas town and all the rain pouring down. And so many people here, but space like this I've never found. And as I get back home,
that's a tune that might be my favorite on the album so far. Number one, I feel the emotion of the song sonically, and it's got some different elements. It's got not like tribal, but it's got this like a bit mysterious, like I don't know if it was xylophone. It was some like struck melodic instrument, and then we do have a return of the sonorous Spandau sax. It's limited. It's supportive and subtle, but it was there. There's some nice keyboard progressions. There's ultimately a feeling of longing, which I think fits the meaning of the lyrics, which, you know, I feel like it was very much what I was thinking. It's the idea of empty space internally, the idea of love that is no more, and this emptiness inside, which is also reflected by these spaces that they shared. They held hands, they kissed, they were, you know, together, they were intimate in this space, and now it's just echoes and memories, and there's empty space where they used to be, and it feels like the narrator is resigned to the reality of this. It doesn't sound like, you know, I'm gonna try to get you back or whatever. It feels more like he's reflecting, and there's a bit of a, you know, like a philosophical perception happening here where like he's sad, but he's reflecting to the good times and then contrasting the current state of affairs with what used to be, and the fullness with the emptiness that is now there, again, both internally and externally. So it's a very like cerebral processing of this former relationship, and it is not only, I think, a very well written song, but the mood, the vibe of the track sonically absolutely captures the feeling really, really well. So it's like thematically and sonically very in step, which again, I enjoy that, and I also enjoy when it goes the other way, right? And I instantly think of Dubstar, once again, shout out to Phil, where it's like a lot of their tunes, you know, it'll have this brighter sound or even kind of like upbeat feeling, and then you catch some of the lines, you're like, oh wait, it feels like a lot darker than maybe I would have thought. So I like both ends of that spectrum where it comes together or it's actually divergent, but it can work in both regards. And I'm now suddenly, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. What, like, the vocalist. I've mentioned his name so many times in the Spandau reactions, and recently when in the holidays, I did that reaction to Live Aid, I actually saw him for the first time, and I was like, oh, that's what he looks like. Why am I blanking on his name? I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. But yes, his vocals really work here. It, like, he does, you can feel, again, the emotional depth and the longing and the, you know, reaching for the past that isn't there, that, you know, reaching out to empty space. I can't believe it. I have to do this while I'm on camera because I'm going to be really annoyed. Tony Hadley, of course, Hadley. I can't believe I like blanked on that. I was like thinking McCluskey, like Humphreys, like no, wait, I just reacted to OMD. That's what's happening there. But yes, ultimately, I think Hadley's vocals on this very much hit the mark exactly where they should, emotionally and in terms of the intensity, the sonically, essentially. So yeah, maybe my favorite on the album so far, top tune. And while it doesn't sound necessarily, you know, like Gold or some of the earlier like classics and perhaps the tunes they're more famous for and the, you know, the stylings that they're more famous for, I think this one really, really works. So yeah, a top tune in my book. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.